Hey guys, what is up? This is Praizist here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do some proper lighting and how to do shadows and how to make it look more organic than what I've been seeing, which is just flopping on a bright white light. So let's get started. So as you can see here, this is a Rolex ad I made a few months ago with just a bunch of just random things I threw on and just, I don't know, I just kind of made it just for fun, but I made it to display the, whatever, the Cellini date watch. And so what I started doing is, here, I'll show you like the base for the watch. I'll show you what the watch looked like beforehand, which was, let's see, the watch looked like this beforehand. See if I have the file somewhere. The watch looked like this. This is just a JPEG that I found and cut it out and maneuvered it around. So here, I'll make a little comparison. But bring it on over here. Okay. Alright, so here is the watch beforehand, and this is it after. So as you can see on this, it's more lit from the top because the lighting is coming from the top right instead of all around in this amniotic occlusion in this one. But for this, what I had to do was make a shadow just because it's in, like, I made it into a dark background environment. So I had to adjust to my environment. So by doing that, I have multiple ways of adding correct lighting, but two of the ways that I think are some of the best are clipping masks, using like soft lights and soft brushes like this. So if I were to just I would have just made like this with a brush. This is just a soft brush, so I can show you how to make that really quick. But if you don't know how to use a brush, gonna need some more practice. But this is how you make the brush line, and then I just blurred it just to make it more realistic and more like a beam of light instead of just a straight up ball. But yeah, so after that I would clipping mask it onto the top right because that is where the lighting is coming from, and then I'd either put it on soft light or I'd put it on overlay. Either one of those really helps contour the brightness of the object where like the light is hitting it. And so you'd want to bring it down to a nice healthy 36% or something around there. But that's how I would make lighting, especially for watches like this. They're really reflective, so you have to add a lot of brightness, especially because I have a light source coming from the top right coming down. So, as you can see right here, little rays coming through. And for shadows, what I would do is take a soft black brush. All of this should be about common sense for you guys, but just running through here really quick. So you just take a black brush and then clipping mask it to the bottom. So now you can see that. Lower up the opacity. You can either do that or you can do soft light, but either one, they do about the same thing. It's just soft light is just a little bit obviously softer on the object instead of harsher. So this is like what I would do for an object such as this, because it's quite reflective still, so you still need to have some color because it's also getting refracted off of the bottom, which would make it beam onto the watch. You just have to really know how things work, and having experience in, let's say, Max and Cinema 4D would really help you with that. But besides that, another trick that I would add is, since like just going on to just like the raw object, taking off like the shadows and lighting right now, is that you'd go into the object's layer style. And a really big helpful thing that really made my work stand out, I think, is the use of an inner shadow, but having it on white and then overlay. As you can see a little bit of a change in color, and the distance I changed just due to how harsh I want like the light to be hitting like the watch or the object. So for the distance, I normally have a shorter distance, so about 9 or 4 to 9, somewhere around there. And then I sometimes have a larger size, but for now I'm just going to do like around 5. But that just gives it like more of like a sharper edge to it, I guess you could say. So like right here you can see the effect doing its work by brightening that up a little bit. Makes sense. Okay, so that is one very helpful trick here. I'll show you what it looks like a little bit clearer. But you can do it from really any direction. So as you can see right here, it's just like an inner shadow, just white. I don't know what here. Let's move that over here. Let's bring this over. Oop. Bring this over here. Malfunction. Okay. Alright, there we go. And let's say like the light is coming from the top right, so you can do the angle however you want. As you can see, I've already changed it a lot for all these, but depending on whatever angle you want it to be, you can have it be as sharp and as hard as you want it. And I like to bring it down like just a little bit, but that way you can see this a little bit clearer. But really helps with sharpening the image when it comes to crisp and clean and reflective, shiny stuff. So also another big tip that I would use would be flares, something like this that you can warp and manipulate by doing this. But you can really find flares. I have some in my packs and such, but it's really easy to find flares. Just go online, type in flares, and then they'll come up with just a bunch of things that you need to use to rescue yourself. But click on something like this. This should be common knowledge for you, but this also really adds a more realistic feel to your artwork, because that's, if you're going for like photo manipulation realism, then you really want to focus on the things that would benefit your project, obviously, instead of making it look a little bit more fake as what it could look like. But so you can see right here, I can just manipulate the flare by clicking the warp button, the warp option. You can just bring it down to like about that. But since this flare really isn't correlating with like the watch color, I just went with a more of a white light flare, such as that. Brought it over here, put on linear dodge, because that really brightens up whatever you have. And you can manipulate whatever you want. I like to have it higher up just because it's super reflective and shiny, as a watch is. So for those two things, that's good for lighting. And this last little tip, well, the last two tips, is having overall shadows on your artwork. And this is how you do it, is that since the light is coming from this direction, here, I'll draw it really quick. Light is coming from this direction, right? Okay. You would have to have some type of shadow over here on this side, because the light is coming from kind of back, like behind the watch. So what you do is that you would have a big, bulky, say about that size, soft brush, set it to a black, and go around the edges, around the area where you think that there would be shadows. Take just like this, and then you bring down the opacity to make it like fit more, I guess you should say. But overall, it gives the feeling of the presentation a more realistic, more centralized feel about where you want to be lighted and what you don't want to be lighted. And last tip for lighting would be this. I don't see this very often for people, but I do something like this for lighting to make it stand out a little bit. Just have like a brush that's like multi-stylist, like this. Multi-stylist, if that's even a word, but grab something like this, shrink it a little bit, have like a bunch of like little dots. You can just do like basic little dots, just like doing this all over the place. But instead of doing that, what I do is I just made a brush, but filter, blur, motion blur, and put that sucker up pretty high so it looks more of an elongated, looks like more like rays. So that's the look that you want to get for it. And so you do something like that, and then you skew it, and then you have more realistic looking, like more realistic looking light source, I guess you could say. Something that's a little bit different from just putting on a little block of light. But that's how I do it. This is how I made this in the background. But a lot of people I see just do this type of thing, which really isn't natural. But if you could make it a little bit more natural by blurring it, but still it's not the same thing. But so hopefully you guys enjoy this whole lighting thing. The things that you really want to know and use in your future would probably be just the whole inner shadow, and like the overall shadows, like over here, along with like the lighting with the motion blur. So hopefully you guys learned something from this, and if you did, please like the video. I really appreciate the support that you guys have been giving me lately. It's been pretty ridiculous. I'm up to like 300 some followers or subscribers now. 330 or 29, pretty close, but that's awesome. Glad that you guys have been enjoying this stuff. I've been enjoying like making these, so hopefully this one helps as well, and give me some suggestions about what you guys would like to see in the comments and whatnot. I can show you guys more tips like lighting and such, more examples and stuff like that. But besides that, I think that's about it. So have a wonderful day, and I hope you guys enjoy your holidays. So peace.